Hello and welcome to Saturday's second video on Cracking the Cryptic, and I'm going to be having a look at a palindrome Sudoku today. I haven't done one of those for a while, so that's going to be good. As always, do check out our Patreon content, and also the Discord server is going very well as well at the moment, as always, as it has been since it got set up 2 or 3 months ago. Now, this comes from Stephen Jones. I featured a puzzle of his a couple of months ago. I think our testers removed one of the rules on that occasion because it wasn't necessary. Now, we haven't messed with this at all, except in terms of the presentation. These are meant to be blue and red palindromes, and there's no difference between them, except that because they're blue and red, down here they overlap twice, which is why we've got the purple. And the extra rule, as well as these being palindromes, which obviously means that the same digit appears at each end and then at the next cell, so that they can be read the same forwards as backwards. That's the whole point of a palindrome, be it a word or a Sudoku palindrome. Now, the extra rule about the purple cells is where these two purple duos appear, they are consecutive digits ascending from left to right. So that could be 2, 3 or 6, 7. This one could be, for instance, 6, 7 or indeed 2, 3. But they are read from left to right, they're ascending by 1. So that's the rules of this one, as well as normal Sudoku rules. Do have a go on the link below the video before you watch my solve, but I'm going to have a go now. So let's get cracking. There are very few given digits, one of each digit apart from 8s, of which there are 2. So let's start with 8s. Okay, I see that 8 is not on any of those cells, therefore it's not on these ones on this palindrome either. Yes, and that 8 is also not on those cells, so because of the palindrome property, it's not on those cells. So 8 in box 2 has to be on one of these 2, and that's on the palindrome, so it must be on one of those 2. But they're across boxes, so that's not as helpful. But over here, yes, this is good. We can place an 8. That 8 is ruled out of those 2. This 8, which now can't be on those 3 because they're in the same box, clearly can't be on those 2 because of the palindrome. And also it can't be in those 2 by regular Sudoku. So we can place the 8 in box 3. That gives us the 8 in box 2. Yes. Should have looked at box 3 first. Now that puts an 8 somewhere on this blue palindrome. But because it could be there on the knuckle, as it were, which is a very useless space in that it's not duplicated, it doesn't mean... it does mean that we have done the 8 for row 7. It's somewhere in one of these 3 cells. So this blue palindrome does not have an 8, which hardly matters, except that it matters a lot. It proves that there's no 8 there. The other 8s that we've got placed are ruling out all of those cells. So in box 4, we know where 8 is. It's there. This can't be an 8 because we've done the 8 on the palindrome somehow. So 8 is down in one of those 2. No, look, we've got 8 and 8. So 8 is on the red palindrome, which I've painted orange to make it more visible for our numbers. Now, does that mean it has to be here? I think it does. What if 8 was there, though? Then 8 could be here. Actually, no, I don't. I think I'm being dumb about this. Let me just try and figure it out. That's not an 8. One of those is an 8. That can't be an 8 because of that. So one of those 2 is an 8. I don't actually know which way round they go, but that's a little pair of 8s on a diagonal. And they're either on the blue palindrome or the red palindrome. Okay. But using this property, it doesn't help, of the purples, it either goes 7, 8 or 8, 9. I don't know if you can read those numbers. I can barely read them myself. Okay, that wasn't quite as helpful as I was expecting, and I still think I might be missing something there. But anyway, let's have a look at a different digit. Now, 8 was the only duplicated one. How about 3? That can't be there, so it can't be there. It can't be there by Sudoku. It can't be there because that's that cell on the palindrome. And it can't be there because there's a given. But that still does leave a few... it's got to be on the blue palindrome somewhere. No, that's not the case. No, if it was there, it's not on the blue palindrome. Okay, I don't know, and I'm getting confused now. That's irritating. Maybe this purple thing, it can't have a 5 in it, and it can't have a 1, and it can't have an 8. Right, so it's either 2, 3, 3, 4, or 6, 7 as their consecutive. Can't be 3, 4 because of that 3. So it's either 2, 3, or 6, 7. If it was 6, 7, that would be 8, 9. 6, 7, 5, 8, 9. I can't resolve that. I'm sure, okay, I'm absolutely sure I'm missing something relatively straightforward. Right, so let's have a look at 7s, because 7 can't be on that bit of the blue palindrome or those bits of the orange one. So it's ruled out of all of those cells. And those two by regular Sudoku. And that one because there's a given. So 7 is in one of these two. It could be that one, and it would be there then. Was I saying it's ruled out of that? I think that might be a mistake. Yes, it is ruled out of that, of course, because that can't be 7. Sorry, I should have seen that right when I started wondering about where the 8s were in those spaces. But it's all resolved now. We've got there in the end. Okay, it's still true about 7s. That hasn't changed the possibilities here. 7 is either there or there. Therefore, on the palindrome, it's in one of those two. Oops, that's the wrong kind of pencil marking. Let's change that again. It's in one of these two places, which isn't particularly helpful. If it was there, yeah, no, that's not really fixing anything. Is there something up here? No, I looked at 3s extensively. 4 can't be on the blue palindrome, so those aren't 4, those aren't 4. So 4 is on a palindrome here. But I don't know which one. Looking into box 4. 1 can't be in those two cells because the blue palindrome can't be in those or that. No, can't quite limit that. I am not being very clever here. Let's just sort of randomly looking around. Maybe I need to be a bit more rigorous. Oh, okay, 2, 6 and 3, 7. Right, so that must be 2 or 6. Oh, this is what I'm not doing, is following through on the palindromes. So that's 2 or 6 and it's on the blue. So it's replicated there. Clearly it can't be a 2. So it's a 6. So this is 6, 7. And we've used that purple rule. Now we are back to just palindrome Sudoku. So that's a 7 on the red palindrome. 6 on the end of that as well. So we can do that. So look, 9 is on the red palindrome. I really have to pay more attention to the palindromes. I'm sure you have been suggesting that already. Now, 9 is looking up. It can't be there. That 9 says it can't be there. It's not there. And it's not on those two blues because of that, so it's not on those two blues. So 9 only has one place in box 2. That's on the palindrome, remembering to follow through. Now 9 in row 3 has to be here. 9 in column 2 can go in. I think we're going to finish the 9s because we've got those two, and this cannot be a 9 because that can't be a 9. So 9 there, and there's only one left for the central box, which is there. Okay, so at least one digit. In fact, 9s and 8s are now completed. 4 cannot be in those cells by Sudoku. Because of the palindrome, it can't be in that cell. So 4's in one of those, and therefore in one of these, and that's no help at all. 6 is in one of those two just by regular Sudoku, because we have the 6's in columns 4 and 6. What's on the end here? It's not 8, 9, 2, 6, 7, 1 or 5. So it's 3 or 4, and the other end of the palindrome doesn't chip into that equation at all. How about this one? Not 6, 7, 5, 8 or 9 or 4 because of what we just discovered about 4's. So it's 1, 2 or 3. Doesn't particularly resolve row 7. That 2 can only go here in box 7. It's really intriguing how these rules work together in this puzzle. It's absolutely not predictable to me. So we've got a 3, 4, 5 triple up there. That means 6 is here in column 1, or 1, 7 pair. That's nice. Now 3, that's fixed. Yes, that's there. It's on the palindrome. Okay, remember to do the palindrome. 4 and 5 here. One of them's on the palindrome, so that is 4 or 5. 2 and 7 up here. Again, one of those is on the palindrome end, so that's 2 or 7. This is a 1, 4, 5 triple. That is 1 or 4. 5 is looking at it, so we can rule 5 out of that palindrome cell. 9, 8, 5, 7, 6. Oh look, 7 is looking at that too. Okay, didn't spot that, but the palindrome to the rescue. 1, 4 and 3 still to place in this column, and they could be in any of those. Now what about these two? They can't be 2, 8, 9 or 6 or 4 because they're both seen there by that 4. So they're from 1, 3, 7 or 5. That one can be 1, 5 or 7. It's looking at a 3. That one's looking at a 7. It can be 1, 3 or 5. I haven't created any quadruples in box 2, I don't think. This is 3 or 4 just by Sudoku. What about this? I've looked at this twice before and it hasn't helped. Okay, this end of this palindrome cannot be 2, 9 or 8. This end can't be 4. It's not that useful. 6 there, 6 there. One of those is 6. And interestingly, although probably not very, no, actually quite helpfully, one of these is 6. Because if that's a 6, that's a 6. And otherwise it's there. So one of those is a 6. So these can't be 6. And we can place 6 in box 9 by that little palindrome trick. 9, 8, 6, 7. This end of this palindrome, I mean, I've looked at it a few times, but it's still multiply possible. 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 as far as I can see. This one now is down to 1, 3 or 5. Not resolved by its other end. Oh, but that does mean that 2 in this row has to be here. Yes, that's right. That's fine. Is that going to place 2 down here? No. No, it's not. It's in one of those two cells, but not resolved, which is a pity because that would give us this triple potentially. 9842. This one can't be 3, but still many possibilities. Intriguing how this doesn't give up much. Right, 6 is restricted those. How's 6 doing over here? It's now in one of these 3. If it was there, there'd be a 6 there. If it was there, there'd also be a 6 there. But if it was there, there'd be a 6 there, and that's fine. What am I missing? Probably something very ordinary. That's 3, 4, or 5 for its row. 9, 8, 6, 7, 2. There's not many actually substantive palindrome cells to do. This is 1, 4, or... no, look. It's now 5, 7, 6, 8, 9 are ruled out from this box. 3 and 2 can be seen by that cell. So these two are 1 and 4. 1 or 4. One or the other. 3, 6, 7, 5. That can't be 3 anymore because of that 3. So that can't be 3. So we are beginning to limit things. That is only 1 or 2. It can't be 4. In fact, the only 4 in this row now is there. Right, that is what we were looking for. So that gives us 3 there. This is now 5. Fixes the 4, 5 in box 7. This is now a 3 because this is a 1, 2 pair, intriguingly. I think that's right, yeah. 5, 7, 6. This is a 1, 2 pair. Looking up here, 9, 8. So these are from 4, 5, 6, and 7, and must include both 6 and 7 somewhere. 8, 9, 4. That hasn't changed these. Right, but this can't be 5. So this can't be 5. Has this changed? No, not really. So how can we use that being 1 or 7? We knew one of those was a 6. I can't see immediately how that's resolving what we have left. Now we've got a 1, 3, 4 triple there. 8, 9, 4, 6, 2 must be in one of these two cells. 1, 7, 4, 5. That can't be 4 anymore. Actually, it could never have been 4. 3 must be in one of those two. That is interesting because that means 3 must be in one of these two. That is restricting 3 to those two cells in box 6. Still, all of those can be 3. 9, 2, 8, 4, 6. This is just... it's so close to being finished and so not finished. 9, 8, 2. That's 1, 2, or 5. 1 or 4 between those. But they're the same, so that doesn't make that 5 necessarily. If they were 4... the only 7 possibility in row 1 is sitting there. Okay, that's useful. That makes this a 7. Which was the only 7 possibility in column 6 as well, so that's just pathetic that I failed to pick that up. This is now part of a 1, 5, 6. Actually, that can only be 1 or 6, like that, which means that is 1 or 6 on the palindrome, which means this is a 3, 5 pair, as is that, which means that isn't 5. Now we have a 1, 4 pair, giving a 5. Am I doing this the most convoluted way possibly? Quite probably. Still haven't sorted that out. 2, 9, 8. That is not 3 or 5. It could be the other of 1 or 6 still. Although that might give us a deadly pattern. I'm not sure about that. But it could also be 4 or 7. So not very helpful again on the knuckle of the palindrome. Or the corner might be a more sensible way to describe it. These are from 1, 2, 3, and 5. Just because of what's already gone in the column. That can't be 2. Ooh, 2 different 1, 3, or 5s. Again, I'm probably missing something that has only got one candidate in a row or column, and they're getting very hard to pick up in this sort of puzzle. Maybe just very hard for me. 4 or 5 there. I just can't resolve that yet. 9, 8. Maybe it's this box where I've got so little filled in where something is going on. That is also from 1, 2, 3, or 5. So 4 and 7 as well have to be in this set, but that's not particularly helping. 3, that can't be 3. They're not 1, 3, 5 triple or anything like it. Again, this probably is a deadly pattern. So that might have to be 3 by uniqueness, but let's not work on that. Let's assume that what would go wrong if this was a 3 instead? That would make that a 3, which would put 3 there. Yeah, and that doesn't then work because there's nowhere for 3 in row. We would have all those 3s if this was a 3 at the top, and there'd be nowhere in row 4 for a 3 because it can't be there because of that placed 3, and it can't be there because of the palindrome, so that can't be a 3. Maybe that depth of logic is not necessary for this puzzle, but it was necessary for me for this puzzle. So that does give us the 3 there, as we suspected. That puts a 4 here. Those can't be 4, so they're a 5, 6, 7 triple. That means we can take 5 out of those cells, as does the placed 5, which makes it a 3 on the palindrome, which is very relevant. 8, 9, 4, 3, so that 3 has made that a 1. It's resolved that whole triple. That 2 comes out of that cell, but it doesn't have much other effect. 3, 8, 9, 1, 6, 2, 5, no. Now, have we got to do something similar again? Maybe this is a puzzle that needs that kind of trick repeated. So one of those is a 2. I'm going to pencil mark that, even though I've got all sorts of pencil marks going on in this box. 4 is now not possible there. This isn't necessarily a 4-7 pair though, because I haven't done all the 6s in this box. However, what would happen if this... Oh, look, I've got a 1 there. Sorry, that was much simpler, thank goodness. 6, 1, 6. Okay, so this can't be 6. This is 4 or 7, which actually is not resolving the row yet. But that's 6, 5, 3, 6, 9, 8. That's 1, 4, or 7, and that's 1, 2, or 7. So all candidates now marked. Still not quite finished, bizarrely. Okay, I did not expect this still to be holding out now. Got a 6 down there. Oh look, I've got a 4 on the end of the palindrome. Really, it is very hard to just keep picking up all of those bits of information. Maybe not for you, you've been spotting things ahead of me and I congratulate you, but definitely for me. Now 2 has to be there, so this is now a 4-7 pair. This is not 5 or 6, so that's 7. That resolves the 1, 7 out there. Found that has messed with me quite badly. Lovely puzzle by Stephen Jones. Well done, Stephen. 1 on the end of that palindrome. Yes, that's right. I'm just going to check the palindromes, and I will press the check button on the regular Sudoku. They all look right. And phew, got through it, but not with any ease at all. That's a very cleverly presented puzzle. Can't believe there were so few givens. Not very many palindromes, but the way they worked together in the boxes was fascinating. That purple rule was very helpful early on, but pretty tough puzzle, to be fair. Thanks very much for sending it in, Stephen, and thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you again soon on the channel. Bye for now.